Good morning everyone. I am Tanushree Dalai from Civil Engineering branch, and today I am going to teach you your Theory 2 paper, which name is Structural Design 2. So in the last class we studied about the welded connection and the advantages of welded connection, and today we will start with the disadvantages of the welded connection. So first one is your welding requires skilled labor and supervision. You know that in case of welded connection, there is a provision of fire to joint the liquid metal, so that here the labor also that much skilled who can carry this kind of work. Then second one is your testing a welded joint is difficult. An X-ray examination alone can enable us to study the quality of the connection. So in case of bolted connection, there are so much testing are there, but in case of welding connection, the testing are not provided because it is not available. So one test is there, which is X-ray, by which we can know the exact strength bearing capacity of the welding joint. The next one is your due to uneven heating and cooling, the welded members are likely to get warped at the welded surface. So because it is joined by a metal liquid form, so that due to the heating and cooling at the joint part only, it will be contract and expand, and due to the weather effect, so that when this kind of contraction and expansion is there, so it affects to the joint. So that it is a big disadvantages of the welded connection. The last one is your internal stresses in the welded zone are likely to be set up. So now comes to the types of the welded connection. Basically, the welded connection are two types. First one is your bot weld and second one is your fillet weld. So what do we mean by bot weld? So bot weld is the type of weld which used when the members are in same plane, and it is also termed as grooved weld also. The bot weld is used to join structural members carrying direct compression or tension. It is used to make T-joint and bot joint. So there are so many kinds of bot weld also, like square bot weld, single V Bot Weld, double V Bot Weld, single U Bot Weld, double U Bot Weld, single J Bot Weld, double J Bot Weld, single Beveled Bot Weld and double Beveled Bot Weld. So now comes to the first types of bot weld, which is your square bot weld. So a square bot weld is a weld in the preparation of which the fusion face lie approximately at right angles to the surface of the components to be joined and are substantially parallel to each other. So this is the figure of square bot weld. You can see here these are the two plates and it is fused by this plane only, and you can see that these two face of the plate are right angle to each other, and this dark part, it is shows that the welded part of the connection. Okay. So now comes to single V Bot Weld. So in case of single V Bot Weld, a single V Bot Weld is a weld in the preparation of which the edges of both components are prepared so that in the cross section the fusion face form a V as shown in the figure. So you can see single V Bot Weld means the shape of the weld is look like a letter V. So you can see that these are the two plates and the face of the plate is look like a V shape, and in between them welding is there. So this kind of welding connection is known as single V Bot Weld. So now comes to double V Bot Weld. So it is one side Bot Weld. Here you can see only one V Bot Weld. But in case of double V Bot Weld, the welding is provided in the both side of the plate. That means a double V Bot Weld is a weld in the preparation of which the edges of both components are double beveled so that in cross section the fusion faces from two opposing V as shown in the figure. So you can see in case of double V Bot Weld, in the both side of the plate, that means at the top side and at the bottom side, you can see a letter V type of section, and after that welding is provided. So next one is your single U Bot Weld. So in case of single U Bot Weld, the weld in the preparation of which the edges of both components are prepared so that in the cross section the fusion face form a U as shown in the figure. So here the welding is provided and the shape of the fusion face is look like a U section. So you can see this section is look like a U section, and after that at the fusion of this we provide a welding connection. Okay. Now comes to the double U Bot Weld. So it is nothing but the provision of the two face by welding is provided here at the both side of the fusion face, that means at the top part and at the bottom part. You can see the plate is cut as U shape. Here one U shape and here also a U shape, and after that welding is provided. And next one is your single J Bot Weld. So a single J Bot Weld is a weld in the preparation of which the edges of one component are prepared so that in the cross section the fusion faces is in the form a J and the fusion face of other component is right angle to the surface of the component as shown in the figure. So you can see here the two plate is connected by welding, and among the two plate one plate is cut as a letter J and other plate is provided with right angle to the face of other plate. So here you can see this portion is look like a J, a letter J, and after that welding is provided. So this kind of fusion or this kind of welding connection is known as your single J Bot Weld. So now comes to double J Bot Weld. So in case of double J Bot Weld is a weld in the preparation of which the edges of one component are prepared so that in the cross section the fusion faces is in the form the two opposite J and the fusion face of the other component is at right angles to the surface of the first component. So you can see the difference between single and double J Bot Weld, that is, here in case of single J Bot Weld we have to cut one plate as the letter J from the upper part to lower part. But in case of double J Bot Weld we have to cut the two edge of the plate as letter J. So you can see in the figure we cut this portion of the plate as J and as well as this portion of the plate as J, and the second plate is right angle to this plate, and after that welding is provided. Okay. So now comes to single Beveled Bot Weld. A single Beveled Bot Weld is a weld in the preparation of which the edge of one component is beveled and the fusion face of that component is at right angles to the surface of the first component. So beveled means this kind of, if you cut a section or if you cut a plate at its one edge in an inclination angle, this kind of cutting is known as your beveled. So while in the fusion of two plate, that means this is one plate and this is one plate. So while you fuse this two plate, then one of them you have to cut as bevel and other plate will be right angle to the first plate, and after that welding is provided. So now comes to double Beveled Bot Weld. So in case of double Beveled Bot Weld, that means the connection is provided. You can see in this figure, here the connection is the plate is cut in both the sides. So this portion of the plate is cut as beveled and this portion of the plate also cut as beveled, and the other plate is right angle to the face of first plate. After that the welding is provided. So this kind of fusion of two plate by welding is known as your double Beveled Bot Weld. Okay. So now comes to some specifications of the bot weld, like the effective length of the bot weld. So here the effective length of bot weld is the length for which the specified size, that means the throat thickness of the weld, is adjusted. Another specification is effective area of the bot weld. So the effective area of the bot weld is taken as the product of effective throat thickness and effective length of the bot weld. So it is given in the code book. So we need this specification while we solving the problems regarding the welding connection. So today this much. We will discuss another specifications of the bot weld in the next class. Thank you.